Welcome back everyone. We're gonna have to break down a massive corporate crisis that is currently threatening to permanently destroy the entire social fabric of the online gaming community as we know it. If you thought the recent updates forcing players to complete mandatory face scans just to claim basic avatar items were as bad as things could possibly get, the situation has just escalated to an entirely new level of severity because massive government bodies are now actively moving to permanently lock down the core tools that make multiplayer games functional in the first place. Today we're gonna dive straight into the upcoming communication ban, exposing how it will completely kill the casual multiplayer experience, and more importantly, we'll be discussing the corporate mechanics of why this impending disaster is going to violently affect your ability to talk to anyone regardless of where you live. To understand exactly how incredibly close we are to this platform-wide lockdown, we have to go over to breaking news that has sent massive shockwaves across the entire gaming industry today, revealing that UK officials are officially considering a new law that will completely ban children under 16 from talking to strangers on massive platforms like Roblox, Fortnite, Discord, and Minecraft. This aggressive movement is essentially serving as a central piece of a much wider, highly restricted online safety crackdown targeting users under 16, and is being pushed directly through high-level government agencies with the full intent of forcing tech companies into total submission. When you read between the lines of this report, it becomes painfully obvious that the traditional open-ended social nature of modern online gaming is now viewed as an unacceptable legal liability by corporate lawyers and government bureaucrats who want to completely sanitize the internet. Just take a single second to imagine logging into a server after a long day of school and realizing that every public text chat is completely disabled, every single voice chat channel is dead silent, and your entire virtual identity is permanently locked inside a lonely, isolated area where you're completely prevented from interacting with anyone who isn't already a pre-approved contact on your friends list. It effectively turns fun multiplayer hubs into hollow single-player ghost towns where the only thing you're legally allowed to do is silently stare at other avatars on your screen while the platform treats every single person around you like a dangerous security threat. Now, I already know what a lot of you are thinking right now because you're probably sitting at home in the United States, Canada, or somewhere completely outside of Europe, assuming this is strictly a regional UK policy that'll never actually cross countries to touch your account. But you need to realize that this exact mindset is a huge trap that completely misunderstands how things actually work, because it is proven time to time again that whenever a massive economic government passes a severe online law, the multi-billion-dollar corporations run these games almost always choose to roll those exact same restrictions out globally. From a software engineering perspective, maintaining completely separate region-locked source codes and stuff for individual countries is a way too expensive and complex corporate headache that executives flat out refuse to fund. So instead of wasting millions of dollars trying to build a very specific compliance wall solely for British servers, they will always take the cheapest and fastest path of least resistance by updating the entire platform globally to match the strictest law currently in place. If the UK government legally mandates that Roblox must completely dismantle public communication channels for millions of teenage accounts to avoid catastrophic fines, the executives over at the headquarters are instantly going to push a massive global update that permanently mutes the social features for every single player on the planet just to save themselves a huge legal headache. We know for a fact that this is exactly how these massive gaming companies operate because we have watched them execute this exact same playbook multiple times in the past whenever they face intense pressure from overseas countries. Just look at the global under 13 advertising ban from a few years ago, which was not actually triggered by official government authorities at all, but was instead entirely driven by US-based sub-regulatory advertising watchdogs and consumer advocacy groups. Instead of taking the time to design a highly localized, sophisticated ad filtering script that only applies to users physically sitting inside the United States, Roblox immediately put the plug on the entire system worldwide, completely banning immersive ads, sponsored experiences, and in-game marketing billboards for every single under 13 account on the entire globe overnight. And we also watched the exact same corporate pattern play out with an implementation of the infamous, heavily broken #child filter that we all have to deal with every single day, which was originally built to comply with the strictly United States federal law known as COPPA. Because the corporate engineers did not want to deal with this economic hassle of only filtering the text messages of American children, they took the most aggressive interpretation of the US privacy law and permanently forced it onto every single international account, meaning that a teenager playing in any other country is still getting their completely innocent sentences turned into hashtags because of a regulation passed by politicians solely from the United States. They have established a clear, undeniable track record of using localized government pressure as a convenient excuse to strip core features away from the entire global community, and this upcoming communication crackdown is following that exact same pattern. And this brings us directly to the most terrifying aspect of this entire situation, because it forces players to confront the grim reality of how a massive platform is actually going to enforce a strict legal ban against talking to strangers, to legally guarantee to a government regulator that an under 16 user is physically incapable of interacting with an unverified account. The platform can no longer just rely on a standard text filter or basic easily bypassable birthday prompt that anyone can slide past by typing in a fake year. They're going to use this to test government pressure as a corporate justification to massively scale up the invasive biometric surveillance, forcing every single player to undergo mandatory face scans and give out their government identification just to unlock basic social features. We're moving rapidly toward a very dystopian era where you will literally be forced to stand in front of your face cam and let an AI system map out your facial features and permanently tie your physical identity to your online account just to get permission to type a basic message in a public game lobby. And it all shows that at the end of the day, they're perfectly comfortable weaponizing government mandates to accelerate their data collection agendas while systematically destroying the final remaining pieces of player anonymity on the internet. Anyways, thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.